I'm here with Lee Doucette, president and owner of Doucette Mobile Service Station. Lee, thanks for being here.
No problem.
All right, I'm going to ask you a few questions about owning your own business. What made you decide to start up your own business?
I run a family business. Business has been in the family for 52 years. My dad actually started the business.
And your father, so would you say he was your inspiration to start the business?
I always wanted to do what my dad did. I followed my dad. My dad was one of my mentors that I learned a lot from him. He runs a very good business. We fix cars. We've owned the service station now, like I say, for 52 years, and he's provided very well for us. And I felt it was going to be a very valuable and business that I could raise my family on.
And how would you say that you decided on your legal structure, such as?
Years ago, early on, when I joined with him after me going to school, I graduated from FSU with an economics degree, and the structure, he was a sole proprietor for many, many years, but due to legal complications, starting to attain some assets as a family and as a sole proprietor, you're protected better when you incorporate. Plus, incorporating also brings me into where I can make financial decisions, legal decisions for that corporation also.
Okay. And you mentioned your education as an economics major. How do you feel that might have helped you now?
I'll tell you, I'll be honest, and honesty is a key thing. It's hard to get into the business school at FSU, and I didn't have the grades. I am a people person. I do feel I run a very good business, but where I couldn't get into the business school, I felt that the economy, if you knew the economy and the ups and downs of the economy and the way the economy is going, obviously we're going technical. And so you look at the technical industry taking off. So if you know the economy and you know how it works, you can tutor your business and design it and make it to where you're up to date. You've got, and I say up to date, just knowing that you're using the newest and greatest things in your business. Economics helps me a lot with, I got to know the price of the barrel of gas. I got a price of a barrel of oil, actually. I got to know gas futures. I got to know if the market's up or down. I got to know market trends. If they start a war in the Mideast, what's going to happen to gas prices? They're going to go through the roof. We're not going to get as much fuel. And so with those, learning about economics that way, it really has helped me greatly in my business.
You mentioned your father started the business, and he was your inspiration. How long ago did he start it?
He started it 52 years ago. We started it in 1961. It was basically on US 1. It's down in Miami, and it was in an area at that time that was very, very not populated as much, and today it's on one of the busiest corners in Dade County. So we have a very thriving business. We do 2 million gallons a year, which equates to about 160, 180,000 a month. We actually do $8 million in sales a year.
And the location, how did your father go about finding the location and the startup capital for the business?
He was actually working at a service station, and the service station, major oil companies had reps, and the rep said to him, "We got a station coming available, and if he would like it." When they get people started, remember now, it's not like it is today. Back then, they wanted to put people in to run them. Today, of course, people would jump on a chance, especially in the market I'm in. The thing is back then they would help you. They would fund some of your gas for you up front. They wouldn't charge you for it right away, and you needed not as much money as it takes today. Today, to start my business, you would have to have probably minimum of $100,000 just to put the inventory in.
Oh wow. So, um, as far as marketing, how would you say that you advertise and promote your business?
I we run what we call a community business, a neighborhood business. My business isn't web based or any of that. It's we work on cars. We have a mini mart and we sell gas. There's 3 areas there that we deal in, and we are in a community. We were always in the community. We are very community oriented. We help the community. It's a small, tight little neighborhood. It's not a big city type of business. And even today, the big cities are getting good because people are live in high rises. So, but even at that, I actually help the schools out. I always felt that 90% of the people had kids, 95% of the people had kids. And if you help the schools, no matter if they're in that community or not, they see your help in the schools, they see your help in the kids, and it just comes back. They want to be part of it. They want to come and help you. They want to buy from you because they see you're helping children and kids. So as we market, we go to the high schools. I buy their T-shirts for them for their wrestling team. I sponsor their football team with the little footballs they throw out and the cups they give away. I do it through a bunch of schools. We also still hold today, as a neighborhood type of situation, we still hold car washes every Sunday for any organization that's in our community, as long as it's a nonprofit organization. So we do a lot of that. We do use the community. There's a small community newspaper, the Pinecrest Tribune. I'll advertise in that, and I also advertise in one of the TV magazines that comes out. So I do use some media, but most of my 90% of my advertising is done all through the schools.
Schools, community
Yep.
magazines, and newspapers.
Yep.
What about websites? Do you
We have a website, but it hasn't been kept up. We don't do a lot of that. I'm just now trying to tutor to get myself to. I'm very old school, which is not the best thing because you got to stay on top of the cutting edge with technologies and stuff. And I'm looking very heavily at social media. I'm looking at different sites. There's one down there called Deal Saver in Miami, and you put coupons on the website. I'm looking at the different ways it can be done. Groupon, great, great. Another site that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at different avenues to try to build business. You want to keep a flow of business so you can pay your people and you're staying busy. So if you put a good deal out there on oil changes and different products in the mini mart and all, deals and all, then it'll really, it takes off. One of the last thing I did was Cuban coffee. We have a huge Cuban market down there, Latin market, and there's not many gas stations down there that sell Cuban coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So I put in Cuban pastries and Cuban coffee. Again, you got advertising. So I put it in the local paper. I put signage up. You got to be careful with signage due to legality. Municipalities that only allow certain type of signage, but it's taken off because once one person says, "Hey, you can get Cuban coffee over at that place," then I get the next person and the next, and now I have a flow of people in the morning. And then, of course, with our repairs, we do our advertising and give good deals on oil changes and all.
So signage and
Yeah.
advertisement.
Yep.
But licensing, how does your what are the requirements
We-
in licensing for your
the-
business?
In my business, there's a lot of government involvement because of being gasoline. So we got to have tank licenses. We got to have tank permits. We got to have mechanics that have licenses. Dade County requires mechanics to have their mechanics licensed. They have to do so many educational hours a year, continuous education hours. We have a food permit and a food license. We have a DERM license, Department of Environmental Resource Management. I believe they just changed their name from DERM to something else, but it's a license that, a permit, they're going to come and check my place to make sure I'm not polluting and I'm not putting gas into the ground or dumping oil in the ground or coolants. So the license, we have, of course, you got to have an occupation license.
Alcohol and tobacco.
Alcohol, yes, we have an alcohol and tobacco license, but it's not it's a to-go license. We don't serve, we can sell it, but you can't consume it on the
Okay.
property.
And what about liquor?
With no liquor license, no alcohol and tobacco, because being a mini mart, you primarily sell alcohol and cigarettes, you know.
Okay.
I say alcohol, beer and cigarettes and wine.
And what kind of technology do you use to help run your business?
We have state-of-the-art cash registers that, of course, talk to the pumps and all that. And with credit cards, we can swipe right there. Out at the pumps, we have cameras. We have not cameras. I take it back. We have TVs in our pumps now, which is a new thing for us. We didn't have it before.
And that ties back in with advertising.
Yeah, it
Helps
does,
you
because we can put some
advertise.
little bit of advertising on there. It's run by a company through mobile in Dresser Wayne, but we are allowed to put 2 promo spots on there too that run twice a day. I say there's different segments of the day, but they run continuously throughout. I get two different ones, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So in the morning you'll be doing a promo for coffee or something. In the afternoon you'll be doing a soda promo on it. We use the web a lot for car repairs. We have online repair manuals. We have satellite, but the satellite is basically for the credit card system. So there's a lot of technology that way and a lot of stuff with that, you know, in our business that we have to keep up on also.
Okay. And on the topic of technology, I'm sure you use plenty of technology for theft and surveillance.
We have a surveillance system. It's one of the best in my city. The police station that is there, they love my system. They actually told me my system's better than Best Buy's. It has 16 cameras. It's all over. Literally from every angle, from the front of my place to inside my place. I wish I had more cameras, to tell you the truth.
How many cameras do you have?
16 cameras, yeah.
And
It's also, I'm able to also go online and see it. So I can be in Tallahassee going to a football game, and I can bring up those cameras and look at them.
wow. So can you view them on your phone or?
I can view them on my phone. I can view them on an iPad. I can view them on a laptop.
So you have an eye on your store at all times.
Exactly.
Wow. And how do you select employees that you can trust when you're not looking at your
Employees, we usually use the referral system through our employees. I know somebody. It's a small business.
Community.
It's basically 15 people, 15 employees, and so when you need someone, you say, "Hey, do you know anyone looking for a job?" To the people that are working with you now, working for you and with you, and you just gotta be. We do use an application system where we do put up. I have a sign I can put up, and we do hand out applications. We open it up to everybody, and you find people that way too. Of course, sometimes the referral system is a lot better. Being a community again, you have people that you've been dealing with all the time, and we do use high school kids a lot. So they say, "Hey, my kid needs a job." So we're able to do that and selectively process that way. When you start getting into the mechanics and stuff like that, I've actually used different websites to try to find mechanics and all, and it's worked.
Sites.
It's worked, and but it's usually referrals. talk to the tool guy. Hey, you know any mechanics looking for a job? Stuff like that. So it's really a lot of word of mouth.
Well, once those employees are hired, what would you say is the most important quality in an employee?
I like honesty, integrity, and hardworking people. We can train people to do almost anything.
So the knowledge that
The
you
knowledge,
need
yeah,
isn't-
you can train. Yeah, you gotta have somewhat of a knowledge. But the thing is we can train people to do things. So when you have hardworking people and honest people, it's a better situation all around. I can train you to fix a car. We can do that. But hardworking and just the hardworking and honest, you can now trust them. You can now they're gonna be working for you. I like to say working with you because even though they work for you, you work with them too. You're side by side.
And on that topic with honesty and integrity, back to internal and external theft that we were going over earlier. Earlier talking to you, you mentioned the three different kinds of threats that you experience in your store.
Yes, yeah. There's
that
to me and pretty much any business, there's three different types of theft, and it's employee, vendor, and customer. Employees are number one theft.
that was in order.
Yeah, pretty much in order because with employees, they get comfortable. They think you got to watch them. And I've caught many of the employees stealing and fired them right on the spot. Vendors, they'll try to shortchange you. And if they shortchange you, your inventory's going to be off. They're going to try to quick count you. And then customers, yeah, you're going to have your customers going to shoplift and stuff like that.
But the least of the three.
But yeah, the least of the
Wow.
three. You better watch your employees, and then from there the vendors, and then your last one is your customers. In my type of business, and I think it really falls in a lot of businesses because you're Best Buy again to say, what's going out the back door? What's not getting put in the register? And now they're probably have a bigger shoplifting problem than I got because I'm a mini mart. Someone's gonna come in and steal a candy bar, but somebody come in and try to steal a phone. Somebody's gonna try to come steal. What's going out the back door? Well, it's employee involved also.
Yeah.
So your employees, you have to watch, and you have to have good, trustworthy employees.
Gotcha. And how do you decide among interested family members who would like to play a role in the business?
Being that it's a family business, I had an older brother that had the opportunity to be in my shoes. I had an older sister. They didn't want anything to do with the business. Since then, I've been with my dad for about 35 plus years. And my dad is not fully retired, but he's not instrumental in the business that much anymore. He does come in every day. So we do see him, and he does put his input in. I'm basically running the full operations now. Now, I have a family that's interested.
You have 3 daughters.
3 daughters, and one of them's married. And to me, it's the hierarchy thing. It's the older, the seniority.
Seniority for them.
The oldest would have the first chance. The middle one would have the next chance, and the youngest would have the next chance. Of course, there's certain things that play roles. If the oldest,
Work ethic.
well, just everything. If the oldest didn't, wanted to work in it, but wasn't interested in showing up to work, but the middle one was putting forth more effort and more time and more, you would have to make a decision that what's best for your business.
Might move down the line.
Right, and say, you know what? I'm going to put her more in charge. I'm going to put the middle one more in charge. Because you have to look out what's best for your business, no matter what. Working with family is very, very hard. I worked with my dad. We've butted our heads. We've caused a lot of problems. But working with family is very, very hard because you have that family emotion involved.
So
and
you would say you were hesitant.
I wanted to work. I always wanted to run the family business. In hindsight, it was a very good thing. but being hesitant, it's one of those things to where you don't know what you're getting in with the family. You don't know what, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. But it's on the other aspect of it. I was with my dad a lot, and he's on his last day. Okay, but then in the other aspect of it, I missed a lot of my children growing up, because when you do run a family business and a small business, you have to be there. You just can't think that it's just going to run itself.
Mm-hmm. And when people are applying to work, how many positions are available, and how long do they train if they are hired?
We have, well, being a small business and small, not that many employees, we have cashiers, we have full service, we have mechanics, and we have office help, backroom office help. That is the basic, the full serve person. He's clean up and stocking and all too, because we're primarily a self-service station, pumping gas today.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is we still have to help some people get their gas in their cars. That community thing again, there's plenty of ladies that don't want to pump their gas, but we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's service. It's a service business. It's not rocket scientists. You take care of the people, they'll take care of you. Mechanics, the same thing. We got to fix their cars and fix them right the first time. Training with that, we have some online stuff we do. We have courses, continuous education again. Then cashiers, we have also cashiers. Cashiers, when we're hiring a cashier, we put the girl with one of the cashiers. She works 2 to 3 weeks with her. We see how well she picks the system up and all that, and if she picks it up pretty good, she'll go on her own. The backroom help, I actually just hired a girl. Actually, we hired from within. She was a cashier. I brought her in the back and asked her if she wanted to learn how to run a gas station. Because when you learn the back room, you learn every aspect. You learn how to manage the mechanics, what numbers they got to do. You learn how the business runs. And here was a girl who, if I can better her knowledge and better her education, and if she did want to move somewhere or whatever, she can go into place, I can run this place. And so I just did that with a girl, and it's helped me out a lot, because I can get away a little more now. I used to not get a lot of vacations, so now I get a little more vacations.
So let you do more of the managing rather than...
Managing is, I used to be a hands-on guy where I would fix the cars, I would, clean the pumps also, I'd do it all. And you have to do that though, because you got to let them know you've done it.
Lead by example.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, so today, for me to be a better business manager, a better business owner, I'm now teaching people my job responsibilities, to where when you're an owner, your ultimate job responsibility is the employees below you and how they work and how much they know. So if I can teach people to do what it's a lot of work trying to do it all yourself. You can't do it all yourself. So you have to teach people how you want things done the correct way. And when you do that, you now become a manager. You now become the owner. You now own that business. You owned it before, but if you do it right, now you don't sit back. You make sure everybody else is doing their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job. My ultimate job is to make sure that everybody else is doing their jobs they've been trained to do and their responsibilities. If you do that, the machine runs better.
And managing your employees, do you have a specific process for evaluating them or disciplining them?
The process for evaluating them, of course, being a hands-on business and you're there every day, You got to give them the, hey, that's a great job. That's a good, hey, I'm glad you did that. Uh, and then again, with disciplining them, you have to be, being a family, small business, you have to sort of like, every once in a while, take them in the back and say, listen, we don't want that happening here. And you got to sort of, you give them some chances. The thing is, though, is when you really have to start documenting, we do have forms because in today's society, you just can't fire someone for no reason or just for whatever. So you got to start documenting.
Mhm.
So if you think you're going to be getting somebody that could start to give you a little bit of a problem, we do have forms. They're always tardy. They're always calling in sick. They're always, not showing up to work without calling or something. So there's forms that we have that when I start sitting down with those forms, my people that help me, my key people know, okay, this person better straighten up or else it's not going to be good for them.
Mhm.
And those are when you start making sure that you got to make sure you do everything properly anyways. And maybe you should use those forms right away. I don't. I like to sit and be personal with someone first. I like to give them the opportunity to talk on a nice clean slate and just let's get it off our chest. Da, da, da. But there's times that those forms do come out, and when they do come out, it's when you start documenting things to make sure that you're going to be legally okay as a business owner.
Gotcha. And with all the time and um, work that you put in to the station, how does it affect your family?
Well, like I was telling you, it's good and bad. The good is we have a very thriving business, and my kids, all of them are going to college. Actually, I have one graduated from college. I have one graduating, and I have one uh, as a junior right now. So all the hard work is paid off for me, and my kids have gotten a good education. But it's hard. It's one of those things to where it's hard when they were growing up. I might have been at work and not at the swim meet, of course, but it does pay off in the long run. It really does, and they see it. They see your work ethic. They learn from it. They see how you treat people and how you and treat people and customers, and they see it and they learn from it. And I think it's a great thing.
And as far as treating people and how you treat people, is that what you would feel makes your business a success and
I feel the success of my business is service.
service?
Service. We still have free air and water at our location. So you
It's
can
not in
come
many
put,
places.
no, not at many. We don't charge you for free air. It's that neighborhood type feeling. And we'll go out there and put it in for you and not charge you a penny. It's
Or you'll pump the
service.
gas.
We'll go and pump the gas for you. People are going to come. Service, like I said, it's not rocket scientist stuff. You take care of somebody, you show them that you're concerned, you show them that you care about them, and you give them good service. It's just like if you went to a restaurant. If you sit down, you wait and wait, and no one comes and waits on you, you're going to end up leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And with service, if they're there and they're nice and they're prompt, and hey, you can have problems. Not the ship doesn't always sail smooth. She can come back out and say, the chef just dropped your meal. We're awfully sorry. We have to recook it. But as long as you do that, and as long as you address the customer and show your concerns, service is one of the easiest things, and people make it too complicated.
Gotcha. And on the other end of the spectrum, when things are bad, what would you say is the worst experience you've had while operating your business?
Operating a business, we have our customer complaints, and one of my sayings is, you can make most of the people happy most of the time, but you can't make all the people happy all the time. And you got to realize that there's some people you can't make happy, but overall, the way I run my business and the way I treat people, we've had a great customer community response. We're very well liked in the community, And that's a great thing. As a bad experience, knock on wood, we haven't had any real bad experience. The thing that really sticks out,
52 years.
well, the thing that really sticks out in my mind would be Hurricane Andrew, and that's a
In
disaster. Yeah, that's a disaster that happened, and it was just one of those things to where it was like you were knocked completely down and you had to rebuild everything. But in the long run, we were open within 2 days. We pumped gas continuously throughout the day in the hot sun with trees blocking driveways because it becomes service.
Mm-hmm.
Back to that service, we literally took care of the community getting gas in their cars. And we had lines. We were the furthest south station open. So you can imagine from my station south to Homestead, there was nothing open.
Yeah.
And we literally told the police officers, we got to close. And they closed us, but we told them, you have any nurses, you have any emergency people, keep them back there and we'll fill them afterwards. It becomes service. We went back later at night, opened up just for them, for 911 operators, doctors, nurses, police officers, firemen. These people have to have gas in their cars. That shows your community involvement. That shows service. Those people that came and got that gas that night realize that you care about the community, and they're telling people, and they're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You do things like that.
And as far as demand, you mentioned that all customers demand. Earlier talking to you, you said two of the three things customers can get if
We have a little saying, you can have it fast, cheap, or good. You can only have two.
you can't have one.
You can only
Can't have
have
one of
two.
them.
You can't have one of them. If you want it fast and good, it's not going to be cheap. If you want it cheap and fast, it's not going to be good. It becomes quality. You got to have quality in your business. You got to have a type of thing where people got to understand that you're out there to help them and you're doing your best, but you got to have quality. And if you have quality and you have good service, they're coming back.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the best advice you could give to someone starting out in a business?
Hard work. It's going to be hard work. It's not an easy task. You have to, you got to do your homework. My business, I grew up in. I know it like the back of my hand. I feel, I want to be humble, but I want to let you know that I feel I'm one of the best at doing what I do, fixing cars and running this business. But if you're going to start any type of business, be it a toy store, be it a beauty shop parlor, be it whatever, you got to do your homework. You need to know what licensing, what the county permits, their permits, and what they permit, meaning what you can do and can't do. You need to know the money you need up front. You need to know a lot of things like that. I was just reading in today's Tallahassee Democrat where people want to start growing oysters, but they won't allow them to do it yet over in Apalachicola in the area there. And the thing is but they're actually gonna permit some grants because I'm a fisherman and I watch that stuff. My brother actually has done it up in the Northeast, so it's very interesting to me. But here's an industry opening up where they're going to start growing oysters in cages over there because of the problem they're having with not the fresh water coming in. So there's a startup cost. They're going to have to make you a permit to do it first off, because the county's going to be involved, or get something, we're going to watch it or whatever, police it, and you got to buy all the cages. You got to buy the little oysters to start growing. I know a little bit about it because my brother is an oysterman, but up in the Northeast, in the Boston area. And so, in reading this, here's a whole industry that's hurting, but they're going to have them come in, and they're only letting certain people try to start growing these oysters. But they're trying to revitalize a market that's hurt. And when we talk about startup costs, there's some people saying that, you know, you're there's some people that can't afford to start that business. Well, but there's some people that can, and it's something that might help the whole industry there. So when you're starting a business, there's a whole lot of processes that you have to look at. You just can't go say, I'm going to go start this business on this corner. It might not be permitted there. It might not be allowed to. You might not, and what's going to cost to run it. So when you do what I say, my homework, you better do your homework. Go interview people. Go to other business owners and see what it takes. Go to the county, see what it takes. Go to the library and study what it takes to do it. Today with the internet, a vast amount of information. And one of our favorite words is we got to do our homework. So if you do your homework, you go into that business knowing more all about it. You go into that business knowing what it's going to take and what it's not going to take. And there's still going to be hiccups. There's still going to be bumps. But at least you were expecting most of them.
Gotcha. Well, Lee, thank you so much for your time today. And I appreciate you sharing your knowledge on the service industry with me.
I enjoy talking to you, Matthew.